Good morning, 330 not March. Listen to me, March. Already, God, I'm still last week, aren't I? It is April, and it is April 4th. Say that again, Matt. April 4th, 2024. Whew. Welcome to the struggle bus. Okay, we're already there. Guys, you see down at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead. Good morning. It's good to see everybody, as always. Already put something down in the comments. It's coming through. A little bit of topics of what we're going to talk about today. All right. So, lot to get to. So I'm going to try to get through this real quick. I'm going to put up right now on the banner. You guys are going to see it running at the bottom. There's the scores. They're coming in right now. All right. You guys see the Trailblazers NBA news. Portland Trailblazers break that 10-game losing streak and beat the Hornets 89-86. The Lakers, behind Anthony Davis's 35 points and 18 rebounds, pick up a win 125 over the Wizards 120. Hawks 121 over the Pistons 113. Okay. The Hawks finally clinched their playoff berth, so they're going to be sitting around. We'll get to that here in a little bit when we talk about the playoff brackets. All right, as those are starting to come through. The Celtics continue their winning ways and clinch home court advantage for the NBA playoffs with a 135 win over the Thunder's 100. So rough night for the Thunder, another playoff team over there on the West. Staying with the East, the Nets have no chance of making the playoffs, but they don't care. They still picked up a win, 111 over the Bucks, 101. So, no, I'm sorry, not the Bucks, over the Pacers. So the Nets beat the Pacers 115-111. Okay, and they are eliminated. The Bucks lose 101 to the Grizzlies 111 behind Jared Jackson's 35 points for the Memphis Grizzlies. The Magic beat the Pelicans 117 to 108. The Timberwolves over the Raptors 133-85. That is the largest loss in the Toronto Raptors history. That's crazy, right? I feel like they've gotten beat way worse than that. 133-85. I don't have the math in front of me. It doesn't seem like a ton, but I guess it does because I just remember when Toronto was atrocious. So good for them. They didn't screw, that's the worst one, and maybe they'll turn around their ways. And then our Cavs lose 101-122 because Devin Booker is continuing his shooting ways, and Durant chips in some points as well, and they both combine for 72. That's pretty tough when those two go for 72 points against any team, let alone our Cleveland Cavaliers, who are supposed to have this defense. So a lot to be coming for the Cleveland Cavs as they're moving into the playoffs. And it just doesn't feel like I was hoping it would feel a month ago. All right. I'm right around that All-Star break. Donovan gets hurt, and here we are. And now we are struggle busting it like me, trying to pronounce what day of the week it is into the playoffs. So we need Donovan Mitchell to get back. 37 minutes last night he totaled, which is good. Did not shoot it very well behind the arc. 2 of 7, I believe it was. That's a rough go. All right. So, Katie, yes, if you fell asleep before the Cavs game, it doesn't really count. Well, it does, unfortunately, and you did yourself a justice by going to sleep because it sounds like all you would have saw was the ball going in the bucket for the Phoenix Suns. Over on some Major League Baseball scores. All right, taking a look as those are going through. Here we go. Orioles over the Royals 4-3 on a 5-hour rain delay, but they still got the game in. So congrats to the Orioles, right? Twins beat the Brewers 7-3. The Angels beat the Marlins 10-2 and continued with the Marlins' worst start in franchise history. So way to go down there. Still, my heart breaks for you, but it doesn't because I remember what Council did to Mesa, and I will never, ever forgive the Marlins. I don't care how cool you guys, your logo was when you first came out of your uniforms. You lost. Sorry. Okay. So Rangers behind a Sager homer beat the Rays 4-1. The Red Sox beat the A's 1-0. All right. And they complete the sweep in that one. Yankees, Judge finally gets his first home run of the season, and the Yankees are off to a 6-1 start, and they're rolling. They're going to be there at the end. I think we know that. The Diamondbacks probably will be as well, but they finished that one off in the 11th inning. So it took 11, but the Yanks get a 6-5 win. The Reds pick up a 4-1 win over the Phillies. The Guardians, as Mike had mentioned, they get a win Logan pitched a gem into the 7th and did exactly what we needed him to do. Mariners were blanked, completely confused, had no clue what was going on, and they throw up the eggshell. The Padres beat the Cardinals 3-2. The Nats beat the Pirates 5-3. Joey Gallo, who I'm sure if you guys remember that name, he used to play for the Reds, is over with the Nats, was 0-12, gets 3 hits and a home run, and he lifts the Nationals over the Pirates last night. The Cubs beat the Rockies after they almost blow a 6-run lead. So 9-8. The Cubs beat the Rockies, almost tried to give it away, but did not. The Astros had no issues whatsoever over the Blue Jays, 8-0. And the Dodgers, behind Ohtani's first home run of the season, get a 5-4 on the Battle of the Bay, Los Angeles, California, that whole thing. And there it is. So the Dodgers beat the Giants. Also postponed yesterday was the Braves, White Sox, and the Tigers and the Mets, and that's all because of that weather. Remember that huge storm we were supposed to have that everybody had to go take shelter? Well, there it is. They're still postponing. All right. So Detroit Tigers are the last remaining undefeated team. That's absolutely crazy. Mike, I can't believe that. Well, times are changing, are they not? And as I mentioned on Tuesday, we were going to get to high school sports awards. I am going to try to get through these as quick as possible. I have a ton of papers, and disclosure, I'm going to butcher somebody's name. You're going to watch me struggle. I get it. Hooked on Phonics would totally work, but it did not work for me. All right. I'm trying. So I'm going to go ahead and read off some of these names. We had already done the Division 3 and 4 for the girls, but now we're going to get into the Division 1. All right. So here are some of your first team of players from around the 330 area, trying to stay close to that. I'm not going to read off the entire state of Ohio. So again, if I miss you, I apologize. I was just looking. I tried to highlight it. Olivia Klanock from Medina, 5'9" junior, first team Division 1. Congrats. Very difficult to get on that first team, second team, or even third team. When you get into the honorable and the special, still just getting mentioned, period, is an accolade in itself. In the second team, we had Megan Campbell from Maslin Jackson, 5'10" senior, and Sorrenti Johnson from Uniontown Lake, 5'10" senior on the second team, Division 1. Out of the Division 1 third team, Jenna Slates, Uniontown Green, 6-foot junior. Caitlin Holmes out of Akron Ellett, a 5'7" junior. They wrap up the third team. And then on the special mention, we had Nair Stevens from Akron Hoban, 5'5" sophomore. Maya Taylor from Canton McKinley, a 5'6" sophomore. Brooke Heron from Louisville, 5'9" senior. And Anna Hurst from Stowe Monroe Falls, 5'8" senior. They wrap up the special mention. Over on the honorable mention, we had Kennedy Dodd from Stowe. She's a 6-foot sophomore. Mackenzie Edinburgh from Akron Hoban, 5'7" senior. Ashley Lamers from Maslin Jackson, a 5'9" senior. Emma Anderson, Uniontown Lake, 5'5" senior. Courtney Berwick from Louisville, 5'9" junior. Sarah Barreau, Youngstown Boardman, 5'7" junior. Ayla Ray from Austin Town. She is a 5'9" senior. Lissa Brown, Youngstown Cheney, 5'6" freshman. I always like seeing the freshmen in there, right? Promising, very promising for her future. Elena Ray from Stowe Monroe Falls is a 5'7" senior. Grace Costaraz from Worcester, 5'10". Sydney Shockley from Uniontown Green, junior. And Sienna Gray from Akron Ellett Jr. These wrap up the Division 1 honorable mention. Congrats to all those ladies for getting their honors and their accolades for their this last season. So if you know any of these people, share them out. And right now, like, follow, share, do all the above, guys. All right, let's go. Get the numbers up. Moving on over into Division 2 first team, Naomi Benson from Streetsboro, a 6'3" junior. Izzy Calloway from Copley, a 5'7" senior. The second team, Sophia Gregory from your West Branch Warriors, a 6'2" senior. Wow. All right, third team, Cam Hoover from Woodridge, 6-foot senior. Joy Williams from CVCA, 5'5" junior. Congrats to those ladies for their first, second, and third team mentions. Over on to special mentions, we had Chelsea Evanich from Marlington, 5'10" senior. Alyssa Masuki from Howland, 5'8" senior. Delilah Ray from Mogador, Field, not Mogador, it's just Field. That's so weird how they write this in. I am literally reading these for the first time after highlighting them, but I don't know why they would put, that's just weird. They put Mogador Field, but I get it because there's probably another field somewhere in Ohio. Sam Stacks from Aurora, 5'5" senior. Erica King from Akron, St. Vincent St. Mary, a 5'8" senior. Cami Ayup from Copley, a 5'10" senior. They wrap up the special mention. Over onto the honorable mention, we had Addie Oslin from Norton, a 5'6" senior. Kendall Batchich from Akron, St. Vincent St. Mary as well, a 5'4" junior. Olivia Showalter from West Branch, 6'1" senior. Summer Hastings Peterson from Canton South, a 5'4" junior. Cami Dill from Canfield, 5'10" senior. Cami Hertz from Canfield, a 5'10" senior. Lily Scott from Youngstown Ursuline, 5'3" senior. Ella Casson from Streetsboro, a 6' senior. Sydney Becks from Talmadge, 5'7" senior. And Dakota Graham from Norton, a 5'7" senior. They wrap up the ladies. So we've gotten through divisions 1 through 4, and guess what? Don't go anywhere, guys. We've got it coming for the boys right here as I'm sifting through all my paperwork. All right, here we go. Let me get over to it. Look at how totally organized I am, right? Oh man, somebody moved this. Watch, you're literally watching a complete fumble happen on social media right now, just trying to get all this stuff in the row. Why did I put that? All right. So I had Division 3. For some reason, my paperwork at the top was Division 3. I thought I had Division 4. Obviously, wanted to work that back down. That's not going to happen. So I'm just rolling with it, guys. All right. Jump on board. Ride with me. Okay. Come on. Give me a little bit of credit. It's like I told you at the beginning of the show, I thought it was still March. Okay. You see where I'm at. Okay. It's a complete disaster what you're watching right now. All right. For Division 3 boys 2024, first team, we had Luca, Vlaskoski from Canton Central Catholic, 6'1" junior. Second team, Garrett Sprout from Southeast, 6'2" senior. On the third team, we had Landon Moore from South Range, a 6'3" senior. All right, let me throw that page down. All right, special mention for the Division 3, Braden Holt from Triway, a 6' senior. Drew Bishko from Triway as well, 6'2" senior. Ashton O'Brien from Youngstown Cardinal Mooney, a 6'2" senior. Preston Giadon from Garrettsville Garfield, 5'9" junior. Jackson Etchler from Waterloo, a 6' senior. They wrap up the special mention. Over on the honorable mention for that Division 3, Blaine Rabber from Garraway, 6'1" junior. Congrats to him. And that would probably be that page. Cool. See, that just did that. All right. I just figured it out. Rocco Turner from Youngstown Mooney is a 5'9" senior. He picks up honorable mention as well. Rashawn Bell from Youngstown Valley Christian is a senior, 6'2". Jabril Rufai from Newton Falls, 6'6" senior. Wow. That's got some height there. That's tall out there in Newton Falls. Woo. Brady Johnson from Akron, Manchester, 6'1" senior. Congrats to them. For your Division 4, that's what I was looking for, and I didn't see it when my paperwork was off. Enough of that. I need to move on with that, right? You guys are tired of hearing about that. So on the second team, we didn't have anybody for the first team around this area, but on second team, we had Nick Ryan from Warren, JFK, 6'3" junior. On the third team, Lane Miller from Mogador, a 6' senior. They wrap it up for the third team. On to special mention for your Division 4, Matt Warden from Hartville Lake Center Christian, a 6'1" senior. Bronson Gilliard from St. Thomas Aquinas, 5'9" senior. Michael Condoleone from Warren, JFK. And then Corey Lehner from Mogador, a 5'10" senior. Congrats to them as they wrap up the special mention. Over on the honorable mention, let's see, we didn't have anybody there. And okay, these pages are getting upside down. There we go. All right, let's get back on track. Jaden McLeod, East Canton, 6'7" senior. Wow, geez, oh Pete, 6'7". That's, you see that? That's big. Even saying that sounded big. Jeez, oh Pete, 6'7". Tanner Norman, Hartville Lake Center Christian, 5'9" senior. RJ Walgate from Medina Christian Academy, a 6'6" freshman. I have seen this kid play since he was in 5th grade, and I think he was 6'6" in 5th grade. He is a special talent. You guys are going to hear that name around. And actually, to give him a little bit more credit, That young man is also in a professional wiffle ball league, which is impressive. If you guys have seen the wiffle ball game, it is strong. Okay. Like there is a real thing going on. I miss my calling because back in the day with that thin yellow bat, man, ooh, could catch it. And you knew if you were legit in wiffle ball because either you had the big red bat or that thin yellow one. If you pulled up with the red bat, you knew that that guy could not hit like, the broadside of a barn. But that yellow one is athleticism. You need to have some hand-eye coordination. So congrats to RJ Walgate. Jaden Rischel from Warren, JFK, 6'3" senior. Brady Hignite from Dalton, a 6'2" junior. They wrap up all of your Division 4. All right, moving on here, guys. Division, I'm jumping around here, and this is exactly why, because when I printed these things out, they must go in this order. So on to Division 1. All right, so there are going to be a lot of names in this. Hayden Nigro from Louisville, a 6'5" senior. Jonas Nichols from Akron Hoban, 6'3" senior. Both talented. Louisville, Hoban, talked an awful lot about them. Both first team candidates, and they got the nod there. Over on the second team, we had Kyle Monterrubio from Maslin Jackson, a 6'3" junior. On the third team, Brady Rawlison from Green, 6' senior. He's going off to play, I believe, at Ohio State, a phenomenal baseball player as well. And that's what he's going there for. Two-sport athlete. The kid's a phenomenal athlete. Had an opportunity to watch him a lot over the last few years and wish him the best as he moves on. Ja'Cory Lipkins from Canton Glen Oak, a 6'2" senior. Reed Simmons from Canton McKinley, a 6'5" junior. Wow. Kids are just getting so much taller these days. All right. Carter Grove from Dover, a 5'10" senior. Braden Gross from Louisville, 6'6" junior. Chance Kassenheiser from Lake out there in Uniontown, a 6' senior. Max Bosley from Wadsworth, a 6' senior. Reese Raymond Smith from Stowe, a 6'6" senior. De'Aaron Holly, who we talked about a little bit earlier in the year when we had Coach on for an interview, a 6'5" junior. He gets the nod as well, as does Bo Siegfried from Louisville, 6' junior, and Jarrett Taylor, another Green Bulldog, the 6'6" senior. He gets the nod there at the special mention. Over on to honorable mention, Trent Winiger from Copley, a 6'3" senior. Tyler Bell from Walsh Jesuit, the 5'10" senior. Nathan Judy from Hudson, a 6'4" sophomore. Chris Knight from Maslin, Washington, 6'1" junior. Zach Brashear from North Canton Hoover, 5'10" junior. Cameron Weekly from Jackson, 6'1" junior. Reese Zerger from Canton Glen Oak, the 6'5" junior. Hunter Winston from Medina Highland, 6'4" senior. Cooper Canaran from Aurora, the 6'5" senior. Trey Ridgway from Dover, 6'3" senior. And Tommy Coletti from Dover, 6'3" senior. They wrap up your Division 1. And we're on to the last, where it's Division 2 of everything. To get through these, on the first team, we had Lavelle Sharp from CVCA. Had an opportunity to watch that young man play as well. Special talent there as well, as you wish him the best as he's moving through and graduating on. But he was on the first team. On to the second team, Jaden Payne from Youngstown Ursuline, 6'7" senior. Third team, we had Joseph DeGeorge from Jefferson area, 6'5" senior, and Dom Cruz from Canfield. Over on the special mention area, Julius Kimbrough from Canton South, 6'5" senior. Ian Ziegler, Canal Fulton Northwest. So that's Northwest over in Canal Fulton. But anyways, the 6'3" senior gets special mention. Logan Forbes from Cloverleaf, 6'9" senior. My Lord. Gosh, is there a 7-footer on here? Jackson Robb from West Branch is a 6' senior that got special mention. Dyer Pride Jr. from Akron Bookdale, 5'10" senior. Lucas Dobbins from Norton. Anybody see this kid play football this year? I really should pull this up, but he is an animal, a complete animal. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't looked into it, what he did, just period. This is a special talent. This kid can play some serious ball, a heck of an athlete. But Luke Dobbins, congrats to you. We talked about you a ton during football, and you get the nod at special mention in basketball, the 6'2" senior. So best of luck to him as he moves on. Alex Henry from Holland, 6' senior, and Isaiah McCray from Youngstown East, they wrap up that. And the last was on the honorable mention. So we had a few that we skipped there. Anthony Cavetti from Jefferson area, 6'3" junior. Carson Bank from Revere, 5'10" senior. RJ Jackson from Alliance, the 6'1" sophomore. Poochie Snyder, Mike, if you're still listening, your favorite player that you talked about all of football season, Poochie Snyder, the kid also takes it on to the hardwood, and he is been nominated and gotten the nod for, Division II. It's amazing. Bo Blair from Marlington, the 6'1" senior. I think I said that. Bo Himmel Heber. I just want to at least attempt to try to say it the right way. No disrespect. I hate when people mispronounce my name, and here I am doing the exact same thing. So I tried to give it the solid college try, but I butchered it. Sorry. Seriously. All right. Jalen Gunter, Youngstown Ursuline, 5'11" freshman. Jeremiah Thomas from West Branch, the 5'10" sophomore, and Braden West from Norway, 5'11" junior. Caden Davis from Talmadge, 6'4" junior. Stevie Diamond from Akron Buchtel is a 6'3" junior. Buddy Willing from Norton, 6'1" sophomore. I've had the opportunity to see that young man play over the years as well. And Anthony Ahern from Akron Springfield wraps it up as a 5'10" senior. So congrats, all those guys. Seriously. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to read that, just because high school sports doesn't get enough action. I really don't think that at all. Okay. At all. So moving along, we had talked a little bit of NBA talk. We were getting it. Boston clinches the #1 spot. They are going to be very, very tough to be able to beat. And this guy, congrats to this man right here, Mr. Jerry West. Why is Jerry West relevant? Because this guy is going into the Hall of Fame for the third time. Yeah, third. I'm trying to get just into the worst podcast ever, or sports show ever Hall of Fame, and that just does not happen. Jerry West is going in 3 times, guys. 3 times. Why is he going in there? Well, obviously in 1979 he went in there as a player. Then he goes in for the US Olympics because they did that. I believe that was in 2010, and now he's going to go in because he's been the GM of the Lakers, which we know, the Grizzlies, and as a consultant for that Golden State team that put everything together, as well as with the LA Clippers. So congrats to Jerry West as he gets the nod to be able to slide in there. Who else picks up the nod to be able to get in there? Did you say? Were you thinking? All right, this guy totally gets the nod along with Chauncey Billups. Here is... Did you hear him? It didn't even, it's not even hard. Oh, one more time. Boop. That guy is still smooth at 46 years old, and he is getting the nod, and he is going to be heading into the Hall of Fame. So congrats to both of those guys as they get the nod. And like I'd said, Chauncey Billups as well. I tried to look for some Chauncey Billups highlights. They just weren't as natural as Vince Carter's were. So with that being said, congrats to both of those guys. So Steve Clifford, the Hornets head coach, is also stepping down. The 62-year-old decided enough was enough. He said, I'm just not. Even though they were talking over there with the Hornets that they wanted to keep him on, just not in the cards for him. He says he doesn't have enough time to be able to devote to an entire season. So he wants to be able to step around. He thinks that by him coaching, he would hinder the youth movement that is happening over there in Charlotte. So got to give him a little credit, but definitely stepping down. Over on the MVP race right now, it is basically Jokic, Shai Alexander from the Thunder. He's right there. Luka is right back in the third place. And then they got the Greek freak, Giannis, and at the very end, Tatum. I don't know how Tatum is not at the top, simply because if we're going it off of a collective season and what your team's doing and how valuable you are to each of your individual teams, Tatum is definitely the guy there in Boston, and he's got them, like I had mentioned a little bit earlier, in that #1 spot. So we'll see. I had mentioned earlier, we were talking about Caitlin Clark in previous shows about how this past year we saw Steph and Sabrina going at it at the All-Star weekend in their 3-point contest. Well, I think somebody was listening, and they must have been watching this show. I'm telling you. okay, because they stole my idea, except they tweaked it. All right. What are they going to tweak? You've got Klay Thompson now going to link up with Steph, and Sabrina is going to take Caitlin. So that's the talk right now for All-Star Weekend, is that it's going to be a 2-on-2 3-point shooting contest. And I'm taking the ladies. I'm going on record right now because I thought Sabrina was actually going to win it last year. I give that girl a ton of credit. She moved back to the men's 3-point line and went toe-to-toe with Steph. And Steph is by far one of the best shooters of all time. So it is what it is when you kind of talk about it. Other news as we get into it, this man, there's been news going around 1 to 2 more years. Like, everybody's completely shocked that LeBron might only be playing for 1 to 2 more seasons. Seriously? All right, I'm going to go here. I'm 41, soon to be 42. Am I 41 or 42? Let me think about that. I'll be 42 this year. Okay. So that means LeBron's floating around 39, 40. Okay. He was 2 years behind me when we were in high school. Guys, that's a long time ago. All right. I didn't even go to my 20-year reunion. All right. So let's be honest, guys. Enjoy it while you can. All right. He's dropping all the hints. He's telling you. Take a clip, take a listen. All right. Here we go.
I was explaining to my wife the other day. She asked me, how am I feeling when I came home after the game? I said, babe, just imagine buying a 2003 Escalade and it's 2024 and you never changed the tires. So rub my feet, please.
At least he said please, right? He did say please. You know what shocked me is he used the Escalade. Should have used the Hummer. Could have been a playback on when he was rolling around town with this little electric one. Still, one of the biggest trolls ever that I've ever seen was when LeBron got suspended and he showed up in almost a 3-piece suit and he's rolling around with an electric Hummer on Akron U's floor as he's suspended. And he got suspended essentially for that because they were trying to figure out whether or not where that money came from. And, you know, the rest is history. Chalk it up with that, the jerseys, all that. At that time, they were just headhunting him completely. They were trying to figure out a way to stop greatness, essentially, in my mind. Sorry, it's a little bit of my St. V coming out, but still, you guys get what I'm saying. Why would he be even thinking about 1 to 2 more years? All right, because remember, the whole conversation was whether or not he wants to play with his son. All right. And everyone's sitting there honestly thinking it's Bronny. You still got Bryce sitting back there. And Bryce, they're kind of talking, may have a little bit more of the NBA pedigree already at this young age. I mean, Bronny, special talent, complete special talent. I don't want to take anything away from this young man whatsoever, but he also popped into the news as it has been reported out there that Bronny James will enter the transfer portal. You guys are hearing it, right? The transfer portal. Where do I think he's going to go? I think that he ends up coming back to Ohio State. I really do. I noticed that when we made our interim coach, our full-time coach, LeBron gave a little bit of a nod to him, said, congrats, that's the guy. That's who needs to be down there running the Buckeyes. Well, you go out there and you say that he obviously holds him in some high regard. So I don't think he'd have a problem allowing his son to be able to transfer. All right. The other conversation is Mike jumping out. Mike just needs to jump on the show at this point. Okay. Duquesne, because LeBron's high school friend, one of very close friend, is now the head coach taking over there, Mr. Drew Joyce. All right. Not Drew Joyce from St. V, his son. Okay. Drew Joyce, the third. I believe it's the third. Might be the second, but I think it's the third. So I don't want to misquote, but I'm guessing. So could he go there? Why? Duquesne's already offered. Duquesne's already offered Bryce. Think about that. Why wouldn't the two brothers want to play together? That's actually pretty unique. That's pretty cool. Now, I started making me think, if I was going in to play and I was in the transfer portal and I was somehow wanted, okay, in college basketball, where would I go? All right. And I base it off intensity, that kind of, those guys that are feisty. Did anybody see Louisville's new coach? This guy, I'm telling you, Pat Kelsey, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Sign me up. Guys, take a listen. This is just a small clip. I'm telling you, go back and watch this guy's interview. This guy is going to be just a gem, a pure gem. But take a quick listen to this.
Ask some questions about recruiting and all that stuff. You want to know if I can recruit? Meet my wife, Lisa. I'm just praying that she doesn't hit the transfer portal. The good news, I was her third choice, and that worked out really well, so I feel really good. Boom, 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 bam. Boom, 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 bam. Oh, crap. You mentioned my energy. My mentor, Skip Prosser, used to describe me as making coffee nervous. I got an education on the airplane, on bourbon. Be true to yourself. Billy Shakespeare said it better, to thine own self be true. I got the short end of the stick in handsomeness, hair. If you're not having fun at what you do, why are you doing it? Boom, 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 bam. Oh, crap.
If you're not having fun at what you do, why are you doing it? That's the best quote of all that. Sign me up for that guy. That guy right there is going to make it fun. I think I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna become a Cards fan. Like, I like that coach. And I started reading a little bit more on him. He was at Charleston. You got to go read up on him. You're going to see him a lot. I can't even imagine what he's going to be like running up and down the hardwood, just encouraging, getting after it, and just the way that he's going to have that team playing with a lot of tenacity. If Bronny could go there, who knows? But I think, like, everybody is thinking he's at Ohio State. It makes way too much sense to me. Like, first of all, I'd be traveling down to the Shot to watch him. I can tell you that right now. You're going to pull from Akron instantaneously. Okay. It's just, it's a no brainer, and Ohio State needs something. We need that. So that would be my guess, but Duquesne could definitely be in the fourth run. I can totally see that potentially happening. But NBA, as we keep moving through the NBA, we mentioned last night, the Cavs take the L, and what does that do to the playoff picture? Let's take a look here right now. As you can see in the Western Conference, the Timberwolves sitting right there at the very top, followed back by Denver. Thunder sitting there in third, Clippers in fourth, and the Mavs at 5. The Suns jump up to 6. And now in your play-on tournament, you have the Pelicans, Kings, Lakers, and the Warriors. That's going to be a very, very tough play-in tournament, and the Rockets lingering back there. To kind of break that down a little bit more, I'm going to pull this one up. You guys can kind of see, because of last night, let's see, Moon Man. There you go. There's my man. There's my Moon Man. Move it over. So anyways, because of last night, the Wolves, they climbed to the number 1 after that win over that. So the Thunder stay at number 3 after that loss with the Celtics, dropping a full game back on Minnesota and Denver. The Pelicans drop way back down, okay, from 6 and 7 because of that loss with the Magics, and they're sitting a half a game behind the Mavericks now for the number 5. The Suns are the ones that benefited the most. They jumped to that number 8 to number 6 via the head-to-head tiebreaker with the number 7 New Orleans following the win over the Cavs, and the Lakers stay at number 9 with their win. They're pulling, though, within a game of the Kings and a half a game within the Suns. So it's really a log jam sitting there back in the back of the pack of the West. Now, over on the Eastern Conference side of things, it's a little bit clearer, I think. We're not really going to see anything, not too much movement. The Hawks, like I said, capitalized and won last night, and now they've clinched in. So there's not a ton of movement when we kind of see that whole thing's shaking out. But what we do see is this part right here, where the Bucks hold that number 2 after the loss with the Grizzlies and remain a half game up on Cleveland. Okay. As I mentioned at the very top, that you're probably seeing their Celtics. Who cares about them? Joe already talked enough about them on Tuesday. I don't want to talk about them anymore. The Cavs, though, is the important one. They stay at the number 3 after the loss, but lead over the number 4 Magics is shrinking to a half a game. So the Magics are now climbing up into the mix of things. That's going to make things a little bit more complicated, all right? And the Magics are sitting at the number 4. They've moved into that whole point. Pacers dropped from the number 6 to the number 7 after their loss to the Nets, who had no business winning. And the Heat are climbing above the play-in by percentage points. And the Hawks, they clinched. A lot a lot coming with the NBA here in the coming weeks. We are tying down to the last week and a half of basketball, 2 weeks, I think it is. And then we're getting into playoffs. So we're going to be talking an awful lot about that. What else are we going to be talking about? This is coming up this weekend. You guys see it. WRESTLMANIA. We were mentioned it on Tuesday. Someone said, bring it on. You guys are, yeah. How do you not get excited? That's The Rock. Does anybody realize that's The Rock? Yeah. Apparently he's going to come back and beat the hell out of Dusty Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And there is Roman Reigns, which I'm not going to lie. I've seen Roman Reigns plenty of times. I was a huge wrestling guy. I was an Ultimate Warrior guy. Guy had no wrestling ability at all, but man was pure energy. He's kind of like that coach from Louisville. But what we're going to see there's 2 nights. So this has happened a couple years back. So everybody who's a wrestling guy right now, Cody, sorry, my bad, Mike. See, here it is. That's the problem when you talk wrestling. If you don't say things exactly with the right take, the wrestling guys are going to attack you. I mean, it is going to be, just a pack of savages coming at you. Just like, what are you talking about? You said the wrong name. I'm in and out. Because I was watching and looking up stuff for today. I did watch the Bray Wyatt. If anybody hasn't watched that, I challenge you, go check it out. It was on Peacock. It's a great documentary. And full disclosure, my wife, who does not like wrestling at all, she sat and watched it and she was like, this is actually really interesting. It's a great documentary. It just tells the story of the late, great Bray Wyatt. The guy was a phenomenal wrestler. Just his creativeness. It's astounding. Jeez, Pete, astounding. Check that out, guys. But seriously, 2 nights now. They're doing WrestleMania over 2 nights. So The Rock and Roman Reigns are taking on Cody Rhodes, sorry, not Dusty, and Seth Rollins. That's going to dictate night 2. I didn't look into the stipulations, but on night 2, you're going to see Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes go for the undisputed World Wrestling Heavyweight title. And then Rollins is going to take on Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight. So there's all these belts, which we know of, but also on the first night, you're going to have the Women's World Championship, the Rhea Ripley taking on Becky Lynch. That looked interesting. The Intercontinental Championship with Gunter, who's the champ, taking on Sami Zayn. Then you've got the Usos going at it, I guess. So there must be something going on with that storyline. There's a 6-pack ladder match that they've got going. The Mysterio family's feuding as well. So it's like the family feud. That's what's pretty much going on. The Usos are going at it, and so are the Mysterios. And then, like I had said, Logan Paul on night 2, he is going to take on in a 3-way match with Orton and Kevin Owens. So that's going to be for I believe it's for the U.S. Championship? U.S. Championship. So just like everything, Gunter is such, I don't even know what that means. That must be a wrestling joke. Okay. I don't get it. Okay. Oh, here it is. Mike just told us. Mike, thank you. We should have had you on, Mike. If Rock/Roman wins, it's a no holds bar on night 2. If Cody and Seth win, it'll be a 1-on-1. Well, we know what that's going to be. Give me the no holds bar. That's what I want, man. Fisticuffs. Go at it, man. Let's see it. Jeez, man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But WrestleMania nevertheless puts on a show every time, and it's exciting to watch. And it's theatrics, but those guys are athletes. They really are. The bumps, the bruises, that's no joke. Everyone can tease it that it's not real. I don't see it as that. I perfectly see it as real because there's a lot of time and energy and creative thought that goes into that. That's real. So to me, that's how you go. So Mike says, Mike's already calling. It says Rock turns on Roman and helps Cody finish the story. Wow. Huh. Nope. I have never, ever heard of the, nope, haven't. Have you heard of the Rockers? Have you heard of Demolition? Those guys or Legion of Doom. Let's go. When that music hit and Hawk came out and he was like, oh, what a rush. Oh, God. Goosebumps, man. I used to have the foam little things and I'd put them on. And I had a buddy, Mike. If you're watching, Mike can attest. Mike has back problems because I would put him in the sharpshooter. I would put him in the Texas Tornado. It was all over the place. I would totally get after it. Totally get after it. So, yes, Ohio State. Yeah, they do. Legion of Doom has Ohio State ties. I mean, we already know this. So there it is. Everything always ties back to Ohio State, you know. That's why Buckeye nuts, you know. So Doink the clown. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for bringing up Doink and Dink. That was by far one of the most interesting little creative stories that I had seen during my time of watching it. But guys, check it out. It's going to be kicking off this weekend, WrestleMania. And then we know that we have March Madness taking on. I'm going to go ahead and run those real quick. Again, at the bottom, you guys see it on 4-6, Purdue, NC State, 609. Connecticut, Bama, taking off at 8:49. Over on the women's, if you're trying to get tickets this weekend, good luck. Okay, I cannot believe the amount of people that I've seen on social media wondering how they're going to get tickets. A friend of mine, a couple of years back, they were $50 to $80 a seat tickets. They're at the lowest right now, 300, 400, and then I'm seeing them at thousands. Okay, thousands. That's what I'm seeing them in. Women's basketball has changed, and it has changed for the better, and it's going to continue that way as we see NC State, South Carolina take it off on 7 o'clock. And then the big one that I think everyone's excited just because Caitlin Clark's the headliner, right? Connecticut and Iowa go at 9:30. So check those games out, and then we will be getting into the national championship. We'll be able to recap that essentially because by the time we come back here on Tuesday at 9 a.m., it should be done, right? Because it goes Monday night. Guys, anything going on? Always appreciate you guys commenting. Always appreciate you guys going along with everything. 2 Final Fours, WrestleMania, the Eclipse, Guardians opening day. What a weekend. You are right. That is what we have going on this weekend. As you can see right there. It's going to be fun, guys. Get out, enjoy it. Hopefully the weather turns for the better. Back here on Monday morning, 7 a.m. You guys better take your put it on your calendar right now. Make sure you're back here. All right. And then come back on Tuesday and hang out with me. Now this weekend, you got all this WrestleMania going on. You got all this Final Four basketball. You're getting excited about that. You're watching baseball. And then you're starting to think, oh my gosh, should I sell my house? Should I call Matt McGall, who's also a realtor? Yes, you should. Give me a call. Know your worth. Know what your property is worth. Seriously, you're absolutely silly if you just don't know what it's worth. And you're probably asking yourself, I'm not going to be able to move. Where am I going to find a house? That's the difference. I'm by myself. I'm an agent all by myself. You aren't going to get me. I'm not going to send you off to somebody else on my team. You're not going to talk to me about. You're going to get me. Start to finish. Good, bad, ugly. You're getting it all. Okay. So give me a call if you guys are thinking about buying, selling, any of those. My information, as always, is in the bottom, running on the ticker right there. Okay. So give me a buzz anytime you guys want. Enjoy the weekend. Continue to be nice in the comments is the best way of putting that. And I appreciate everybody who tunes into this, shares this, likes this. It doesn't go unnoticed. I really do appreciate it, guys. Making sure there was a couple of comments that popped up. Rubber Ducks, you're right. Rubber Ducks open up tomorrow. And I if you guys didn't see that clip, Mike and Jay were there yesterday. They got to go down and feast on some ridiculously good looking food. Like I was jealous. The ribs looked really good. I'm a rib guy. I got to admit, but the Rubber Ducks are kicking it off. Go back, check out that reel. Mike did a nice job of being able to be there, talked a little bit, had a before and after. So those guys always do a great job. Hopefully be down there a couple of times this year to be able to bring some Rubber Ducks news. So guys, back again here on Tuesday. Till then, I will see you guys. Be nice in the comments, as we always say, and have a great, great weekend. Okay.